Hi guys, welcome to the first edition of Academy on Air for 2019. We're your hosts Tom and Tom, and we're product experts for automation within the UK market. Who said that Googlers don't all dress the same? Today we'll be discussing how to simplify and grow with machine learning. This is the first of several episodes covering the topic, and in the coming weeks we'll also be going into deep dives with everything from bidding to creative as well. So on to the agenda. First, Tom will be covering machine learning in the age of assistance, and then I'll be going through machine learning and how it has boosted businesses, not just within the realms of Google Ads. We'll also be covering Google Ads machine learning powered products and a few case studies, as well as leaving plenty of time for Q&A at the end of today's session.
Yeah, so kicking things off, we're just going to discuss a little bit about the concept of the age of assistance and how machine learning is being incorporated in this. So as technology in the recent years has grown exponentially, consumers are now expecting assistance in every single moment of their day-to-day life. We call these points in a customer journey micro moments, and they illustrate just how drastically this decision-making process has changed due to people constantly having this information at their fingertips. The way people are now searching has completely changed, and consumer expectations are higher than ever before. We know this because we can see the different ways people are searching more and incredibly changed as well. As marketers, we're taught to constantly master the funnel, a linear customer journey from awareness to consideration to finally purchase. And using mass media, the key levers to drive growth were reach and frequency. We use demographics to approximate user intent and inform our targeting and creatives. Google looked at thousands of user clickstream data from a third-party opt-in panel. We actually found that no two journeys are exactly alike, and in fact most journeys don't resemble a funnel at all. They look more like pyramids, diamonds, hourglasses, and more intent-rich moments are creating journey shapes just as unique as the rest of us. In many ways, intent is redefining the marketing funnel. The inherent digital nature has given rise to complex consumer journeys with multiple intent-rich moments across multiple touch points, networks, platforms, and devices. As marketers, it's necessary that we understand these fragmented journeys and how to engage with users throughout all these moments of intent. But to do so manually would be extremely challenging. Thankfully, due to the advancements in machine learning, we are now able to understand and act on consumer intent in real time. So how do you create a brand that people can count on? It starts with predicting intent and anticipating needs throughout the customer journey. For example, Hawaiian Airlines used search signals to predict the people who were most likely to book a trip to Hawaii. Then, by understanding people who would want a direct flight from a nearby airport, they were able to tailor messages accordingly. Video ads included a call to action directing people to a landing page of a relevant flight and pricing options. This example shows that intent really is everywhere. People are signaling their intent every time they turn for digital assistance. The challenge is to know your customers so you can predict their intent. Machine learning really is key here. As customer journeys have become more complex over time, there are thousands and thousands of variables and signals to be taken into account. Machine learning can help you overcome this complexity and ensure to also be highly relevant for the super empowered consumer of today. Google is placing the power of machine learning at the heart of everything we do, from eliminating spam to creating next generation assistance and enhancing cybersecurity. In order to properly explore these opportunities, it's important to first understand what machine learning is. First, machine learning is able to identify patterns that can reveal insights and shape our sense of creative possibilities. Second, it can automate tasks we already do at intense speed and scale, saving time and improving outcomes. Finally, machine learning can bring together sets of data in ways that open up entirely new kinds of creative expression. Driven by machine learning, we have unprecedented opportunities to gain speed and solve even more complex problems. To give you a real example of where we can clearly see machine learning hard at work, Gmail now has a smart reply feature, which will suggest small brief responses to emails you have received based on the content that is present in each email. It'll give you smart suggestions like greetings, closings, and sometimes entire sentences. Now over to Tom.
Thanks for that. So now we're going to look into how some of the world's leading brands are implementing machine learning to help accelerate their business plans and tackle everyday problems. So in a recent survey, 74% of respondents believe their organisation's current goals would be better achieved with greater investment in machine learning and automation. Here are some examples from businesses around the world who are taking advantage of machine learning to help answer questions to their own data challenges. First, we have the New York Times. So Google Cloud has teamed up with the New York Times to help them digitize their vast photo collection. It's making use of numerous tools within Google's cloud platform that allow them to securely store their images, provide them with a better interface for finding photos, and find new insights even from the data locked on the backs of images. For over 100 years, the Times has archived approximately 5 to 7 million of old photos in hundreds of file cabinets 3 stories below street level near their Times Square offices in a location referred to as the morgue. Many of the photos have been stored in folders and not seen for years. Although a card catalogue provides an overview of the archive's contents, there are many details in the photos that are not captured in an index form. To preserve this priceless history and to give the Times the ability to enhance its reporting with even more visual storytelling and historical context, the Times is digitising its archive using machine learning solutions. Simply storing high-resolution images is not enough to create a system that photo editors can easily use. They are leveraging machine learning to build a system that allows the users to browse and search for photos easily. It's not only the photo's imagery that contains valuable information. In many cases, the back of the photos include the time and place where the photo was taken. Machine learning has also been used to help fill the gap through the image recognition capabilities and add data regarding the back of these pictures. This is only the start of what's possible for companies with large physical archives. They can use machine learning to identify objects, places, and images. Helping the New York Times transform its photo archive perfectly fits with Google's mission to organise the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. Here we have an example with Rainforest Connection. They are a group of engineers and developers focused on building technology to help locals protect their land and in the process protect the rest of us from the effects of climate change. A tribe from Central Amazon and Google have collaboratively partnered on new ways that technology could stop illegal loggers from destroying their land. The team has built a real-time detection and alert system for logging and environmental conservation in the rainforest. They've hidden modified recycled smartphones in trees in threatened areas and continuously monitor the sounds of the forest, sending all audio up to a machine learning-based server. The system would then analyse all of the auditory data in real time and listen for chainsaws, logging trucks and other sounds of illegal activity that could help them pinpoint the problems in that particular forest. Without the help of machine learning, this process would be impossible. And when fighting deforestation, every improvement can mean one more saved tree for us. So next we have 20th Century Fox and how they used machine learning to acquire the best customers. Now, success in the movie industry relies on the studio's ability to attract moviegoers, but that's sometimes easier said than done. Moviegoers are a diverse group with a wide variety of interests and preferences. Historically, studios have relied heavily on experience when deciding to invest in a particular script, but this can lead to huge risks, particularly when investing in new original stories. So 20th Century and Google partnered together to better understand their moviegoers and have developed a machine learning model that train on granular customer data and movie scripts to identify the basic patterns in audience preferences for different types of films. For example, the likelihood of watching films with particular traits or character types. The impact of these tools on 20th Century Fox's marketing and data teams is significant. Instead of depending solely on high-level audience survey results, the team can now deploy more precise instruments to determine customer intent. They also incorporate purchase and rental data from home entertainment sources to identify stronger correlations between an audience member and the titles they've watched. So now I'll pass back over to Tom.
Yeah, so moving on to machine learning and how it's actually utilized within our Google Ads marketing solutions. Today, machine learning is present across all Google solutions, helping advertisers achieve the best performance for their campaigns by showing the right message to the right customers in their moment of need. We're able to effectively capture intent through various targeting, including our audience solutions, like in-market audiences. In the world of targeting, we utilize machine learning to find people we utilize machine learning to find people onto your customers who should be. We help advertisers expand their reach to those people who are likely to convert. We are then able to measure intent better through non-last click data-driven attribution. In the world of attribution, we utilize machine learning to understand the true drivers of conversion and assign the right value. Finally, we can capitalize on this intent by tailoring our bids and creative ad assets to best respond to our user intent. With machine learning, we can factor in countless signals to determine the optimal bid for each moment, so you can acquire more customers and eliminate wasteful spending. For creatives, we help advertisers use the right message for every moment. With machine learning, we can use conditional formatting, leverage our understanding of consumer intent and data to choose the right creative to show for every moment. We also apply machine learning to ad creatives. For creatives, we help advertisers use the right message for every moment. With machine learning, we can understand the goal of the business, leveraging our understanding of consumer intent and data to choose the right creative to show. Smart creatives allow you to take advantage of intent signals across platforms to match the perfect message to the right audience on search and display. Examples of these are responsive search ads and dynamic search ads. They leverage rich user intent signals such as keywords and device types from the over 3.6 billion searches that are done per day on Google. They are then used to determine the best performing combination of assets for each and every user's search with responsive search ads. For dynamic search ads, it would determine what headlines to dynamically build landing page to point users to based on exactly what they're searching for. On display, responsive display ads are powered by signals from the over 1 billion users on all 7 Google platforms, as well as over 3 million websites that are part of the display network. They are used to determine the best performing combination of assets while adjusting to fit them perfectly into all available inventory across display, web, apps with a single ad.
So when we're looking at bidding 10 years ago, things were pretty simple. You chose keywords in a specific bid based on the likelihood that that keyword to convert on a last click desktop same session basis. Then along came mobile devices, which created more signals that marketers needed to account for, like the device type, the time, and their location. Today, we can track user signals more than ever before. This width and breadth of data creates more complexity, but also more opportunity. Powerful machine learning technology now computes bids faster than ever before, and our real-time auction level bid adjustments offer unparalleled optimization at an unimaginable scale. We leverage machine learning capabilities to rapidly analyze millions of signals and variables, a process that is impossible for a human being to execute. Our tools then proactively set real-time bids for every auction based on the learnings from each past performance. Automating your bid management process frees up your bandwidth to focus on more impactful, value-adding strategic efforts. And most importantly, our strategies help you attain a better ROI without surpassing the financial limits that you've set on your campaigns. So in the world of attribution, we utilize machine learning to understand the true drivers of conversion and assign the right value. On the path to a conversion, a customer may do multiple searches and interact with multiple ads from the same advertiser. Attribution models let you choose how much credit each click gets for your conversions, and you can attribute to the credit to the customer's first click, their last click, or a combination of multiple interactions. Attribution models can give you a better understanding of how your ads perform and can help you optimize across the user's conversion path. Accurate measurement is a key principle in all digital marketing, and we see our search products work best when measurement is accurate and uses attribution modeling. Sophisticated algorithms evaluate all the different paths in an advertiser's account, both converting and non-converting, to determine which points are the most influential in their customer journey. So here we have a few case studies of clients utilizing Google Ads' machine learning powered products. First, there was Zurich Tourism, who were able to create a 45% higher return on ad spend by leveraging smart creatives and smart bidding to create a higher return on advertising spend. Secondly, we have AV Cables. Now, historically, they've mainly used Google Ads to ensure top position on the search network. Faced with increased competition, AV Cables successfully teamed up with their agency, Competence Kanalen. Apologies if I mispronounced that, to implement an ambitious automation strategy across their ever-expanding product portfolio and connect with new customer segments within their niche industry and to increase exposure and sales. Their approach took an automated data-driven full funnel, starting by switching away from a last-click attribution and utilizing remarketing for search ads and similar audiences for search. To find new audiences with a higher purchase intent outside of the search network, AV Cables tested smart display campaigns and dynamic prospecting, thereby reaching new, relevant and untouched audiences while retaining a sustainable ROI. For the results, after implementing all of this, AV Cables have seen significantly increased exposure while maintaining a similar ROI to previous campaign performance. So in summary, the reason we're talking about all of this today is that user behavior is changing. Successful businesses' performance relies on companies being able to predict what customers might need at every stage of their purchase journey. To do that, we need to utilize automation powered by machine learning. In order to fully adopt automation, some changes need to be made. We need to focus on the quality of measurement and data and structure search accounts for a machine learning first world. And finally, create, experiment, and automate. You can start taking advantage of Google's machine learning powered products in your account today, and you can simply check these out within the recommendations tab of your accounts for the biggest opportunities. So stay tuned for more episodes coming up over the next couple of weeks in terms of how machine learning can be used to help drive efficiency and help grow your businesses, with the next episode focusing on smart bidding, followed up by how we can be building customized experiences through automation. So we've allowed a bit of time for Q&A. So we'll just see if there's any particular questions that have come through. Okay, so got a couple questions here. So I've got some from Uncle Social. Just going through these. So Uncle Social had a good question in terms of the movie audiences. When thinking of machine learning with movie audiences, won't this just lead to less risk and more sequels and reboots and less original breakthroughs? Pretty good question. Like, you do see, it's probably less about from a Google point of view, but I would be saying where you see that probably more and more movies are all just sequels or Avengers films or comic book heroes. But then you'd also have looking at examples of where customer behavior, I know personally where some of the popular movies such as that Netflix has done, where they've been able to uncover kind of different segments that were popular from their behavior, and kind of like building shows around those data points. But yeah, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main point that we've kind of covered is that machine learning is really able to work alongside us really, and be able to sort of take on board a lot more data than necessarily we're able to calculate. So it's all about understanding those sort of signals that are being given by users, and then utilizing that data, which is being simplified through machine learning, to then make appropriate decisions on that.
So we've got one last question as well from Andrea in regards to, so Andrea asks, is anything being done to resolve the problem on how responsive display ads look on some devices and sizes? So it's a very good question, Andrea, and we really appreciate that feedback. In terms of what is being done, and this will be covered off on not the episode 2, but in episode 3, a lot of feedback has been done, and kind of looking at terms of how we can report on those assets and then how they're appearing within the interface. So then they're making sure that it's is kind of like a high quality as possible. So I think that's in terms of all the questions that we've had for today. So we really appreciate your time today, guys, and hope you enjoyed the first episode of the year, and look forward to seeing you join in future episodes. Thanks.
Thank you.